A lot of people, when they think about AI Proficient, they're like, oh, I use it to help me do some research and write an email. And my friends, that's the lazy version of AI. That's the beginnings of the beginning of the beginning. Building a system in place is where sales reps and teams it's prioritizing the call list. It's allowing you to compete with insights. It's pulling out, let's say you sell something that helps a company with their website load speed. It's scraping the site for you in advance. It's putting together white papers and case studies even before you even log into Salesforce for you.
AI-powered seller.
All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the AI-powered seller. I am your host, Jake Dunlap. Hopefully, if you're joining us on YouTube, welcome to the channel. If you are listening on Spotify or your favorite podcast, welcome as well. This is the show where every single week I break down the latest and greatest details that every single seller needs to know around AI and sales and how to supercharge your career in 2025, 26, and beyond. So today's episode should be an amazing one. I think I hear this all the time. We need to be AI proficient. We've got to be more AI forward. And I think the interesting part is, what does that mean? What does it mean if I'm a sales rep and my boss is asking me, Jake, you need to be AI proficient? Or if you're a CEO and your board saying, you guys need to be AI proficient, what does that mean? And really, the uncomfortable truth in 25 is if you aren't proficient, you are going to fall behind. And yes, most sellers today are using AI. I think it's 80% is a stat that I've seen, but they're just dabbling with it, just barely scratching the surface. Only, I think, less than 13% actually know how to build assistants or agents, etc. And so in today's episode, I'm going to break down for you a few key areas. One, what the heck is AI proficiency and what does that mean for you as a seller? Two, what are the 5 levels of AI proficiency that we've developed that we have seen lead teams from just walking around the gym, wearing their Lululemon to actually hitting the weights and seeing the outcomes. And then I'm going to talk about why leveling up isn't some type of productivity hat. It is a complete change in the way that you work. And so without further ado, let's jump into what proficiency actually means. Oh, and a quick heads up for those of you, make sure to check out the show links. We have built the first AI certification for sellers and a whole separate track for frontline leaders. So those are live. They are going to kick off here in the next 3 weeks. There's no theory, no fluff. If you are serious about getting ahead and not being left behind, this is your 2025 checkbox. So make sure to go sign up for that as well too. So first, I'm going to talk you through the definition of proficiency, right? And I think where I am qualified to talk about this is over the last year, I have easily talked to hundreds of VPs of sales, CEOs, CIOs around this. And I have seen the complete gamut, right? I would say most people are going to be in some of the earlier stages. So I'll talk about what non-proficient looks like. But I have also seen organizations out there that are literally like little human cyborgs where all their people have digital teammates, they're cranking, etc. So let me try to make this very tactical, right? So to me, AI isn't about having tools. It's about transforming the way you work. So think about it that way. If you want to be proficient, it's not, I know this technology. It's, oh, I work completely different now. That's how you know it's integrated. It's a part of every single thing that you do. So for example, I'll try to give you a very real world one. Let's say you're prospecting. I think a lot of people, when they think about AI proficient, they're like, oh, I use it to help me do some research and write an email. And my friends, that's the lazy version of AI. That's the beginnings of the beginning of the beginning, right? Building a system in place is where sales reps and teams it's prioritizing the call list. It's allowing you to compete with insights. It's pulling out, let's say you sell something that helps a company with their website load speed. It's scraping the site for you in advance. It's putting together white papers and case studies even before you even log into Salesforce for you. And so if you think about writing an email as step 0, the future for outbound is insight-driven, one-to-one communication. For managers, if you're saying, hey, am I proficient? It isn't about asking ChatGPT, how do I be a better coach? It's really creating a GPT trained on your specific playbook. I think everyone, I've got a little Jake version of a playbook that can review the call transcript, surface insights, and automatically give that rep feedback and insights. And that's really the difference between the people I see that are dabbling and the people that are proficient. The dabblers are the people that are saying, oh yeah, I do some prompting every day. I do like some basic prompting. It's very, high level, 1 or 2 sentences, etc. For the people that are actually building systems for themselves. So if you want to think about where you are on the spectrum, take a second. Am I somebody who has built out multiple systems for myself, for my team, that is running behind the scenes or that we interact with every day, or am I still dabbling? And let me just tell you the reality of the art of possible here. The last stat that I saw is a 47% increase in productivity when sales teams actually have AI into all their workflows. That is almost 12 hours per week. Let's be honest, selling time, maybe you're doing 6 hours a week. That's 2 days a week, right? This is not incremental. It is literally career altering. And that's what gets me so excited about a lot of this is the future. This is where I see, this ability for you as an individual, whether you're listening to this and you're on the front lines, whether you're listening to this and you're in the frontline leadership, or maybe you're an executive or private equity, this is the opportunity. And I think what we have to realize is we've all been programmed to solve, different problems or to do our jobs a very, very certain way. And so we've become proficient in the old way of doing it, right? We've become proficient, right, in, how I use Google and how I use LinkedIn and how I use a sales engagement tool and how I use CRM. But there is a new proficiency game in town. And I'm going to break down the very tactical 5 ways. I'm really going to spend my time in today's episode. Maybe in a few months, I'll spend more time on number 4 and 5. I'm going to spend most of today's episode talking about 1, 2, and 3, because I think most of you are probably in 1, 2 land. And I want to try to get really tactical over the next 10, 15 minutes and really help you to get into, kind of 2, 3, maybe like peak at 4 land. So before we dive in, I want to make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure you sign up for downloads if this is your favorite podcast platform. Make sure to hit the like button for this video. Share this video with your teammates. Again, I think everybody's trying to figure out this AI proficiency piece. And definitely check out meetjourney.ai. Meetjourney.ai is literally the only set of assistants built only for sales teams. There are workspaces in there for all of your accounts. There's a whole bunch of assistants that will help you do research, book meetings, scenario plan, role play, etc. So make sure as you're starting to think about your proficiency journey, if you want to skip ahead to step 2 or 3, just sign up for Meet Journey. They've already done a lot of the work for you. They built out the assistants. You can program it with your org, etc., and it's free. So make sure to go check that out. So, my friends, let's get into the 5 levels of AI proficiency. As a part of this, I want us to think what we call level 1 is, let me just clean that up a little bit. Let's get into the 5 levels of AI proficiency. I'm going to spend about the next 7, 8, 9 minutes just talking about these 5 levels and really, really honing in on the ones where I feel like most people are, today, which is 1, 2, and 3. So let's talk first about level 1 as the ad hoc user, the basic experimenter. This is where, again, I want you to look yourself in the mirror. There's no shame. We're still early, so don't worry about it. If you are here, don't feel, like you're too late to the game. We're still very early in the game. The mindset, I think, is what can be your litmus test, which is AI feels optional. I want you to think about that. Does AI feel optional? Does it feel like, yeah, I should be, yeah, I'm dabbling. I'm using it a little bit here. It's, relatively generic ways that we're using it, inconsistent outcomes. We're constantly like not happy with the outcomes, heavy editing required. We're saying, hey, help me write a prospecting email for here's my company. And, here's the company that I'm trying to book a meeting with. And I'd call this still like AI is a novelty. It's another tech stack. It's not something that I really view as has to be infused in everything that I do, right? And to me, if you stay here, you are going to be dead weight to companies compared to your peers in 6 to 12 months. The good news is I don't have the actual specific stats. My gut tells me 70 to 80% of people are right here. From working with thousands of reps over the last year, I'm going to say a vast majority, call it three-fourths, are in this ad hoc user, basic experimenter level 1. Okay, where again, there's a couple of key factors I think about when I think about this level. Number 1 is we don't talk to it like a person. We still talk to it like Google. We can't fathom that we should be giving it everything and more context and more context and more context. Number 2 is we have very specific use cases like research, like messaging that we've latched onto, and that's how we do it. So if you want to know if you're in level 1, those are my 2 key criteria. Think about, again, are you using it in just a couple of, key use cases? Right? Are you also, thinking about it, again, giving it very basic prompting, 1 or 2 words or sentences, and that is how you know if you're in level 1, okay? Number 2, now I'm going to call this the skilled prompter. This is somebody who's starting to get, I'd call it a little bit consistent around some of these things. So what are the behaviors of somebody who's in my level 2, the skilled prompter bucket? These are the types of people that are doing some next level. They have saved prompts. They've realized, why do I keep typing in this exact same thing over and over again? And I use it for multiple use cases. That kind of is a very clear way for you to say, hey, Jake, I think I'm here. I've got some go-to prompts. I've got 2 or 3 areas in the sales process that I use it. And I'll toss in a third here. I'm starting to get good at adding context. I'm saying, hey, I'm feeling a little bit like this. My role is a little this, or this industry is nuanced this way. So again, they're starting to make the shift from okay, I can feed it a couple of things that'll give me some answers, to say, okay, I definitely see value in more than just 1 or 2 areas here. I'm saving the prompts because that saves me, time as a part of it. And I'm starting to be able to understand I need to give it more. I need to give it more context. My answers are more rich. They're better, right? So again, it's not writing an email to this. It's saying, hey, I need to do a 3-line opener to this director of marketing. Here's what happened on the first call. I'm a little nervous about this. They work at this type of industry where we do okay here. And I want to focus on this use case around time savings and their recent funding around and ABC, insert something else, right? So they're just getting good at giving it context, right? At this layer, I'm telling you, when you move from level 1 to level 2, you move from the ad hoc to the skilled consistent, at least a 2x gain. You're not having to write things out anymore. You're starting to see those gains in productivity. You're faster than the manual drafters, but my friends, you're still tactical. You're still stuck a little bit in prompting land. That is level 2, okay? And I would say my top 10, 15 percenters in AI for frontline leaders, most execs, honestly, I would say most execs I talk to, maybe 10 to 20% are in level 2. I think most executive leaders I talk to are pretty level 1. Sales reps, I'd say maybe 20% or so are kind of in this, they're starting to flirt with this level, right? 15, 20%. Whereas I think it's a very low percent of execs that get there. Again, if this is helping you, make sure to like the video. If you're listening on your podcast, make sure to sign up to get the latest. And I'm going to walk through the next 3. But again, my goal here with AI-powered seller is to always bring you the tactical advice. How do I get better at this? How do I get better at this? How do I get better at this? So appreciate you tuning in, and let's jump into the last couple here. Number 3 is the assistant builder, the task specialist. These are my friends who are starting to create either gems in Gemini, agents in Copilot. In Meet Journey, they're using the Meet Journey agents, their custom GPTs. They have realized, why do I have to copy and paste when I can just take some time, put my best prompt into this, and now it's my competitive deal winner, digital teammate. And that's a new word I'm starting to use more and more, even instead of the word assistant, because it truly is that powerful. I think Journey now is up to like 9 digital teammates. You can build, more, and in ChatGPT, you can build obviously as many as you need to. But think of these things, like competitive deal winner. This is like a digital teammate. This is like a person that I have on call 24/7, ready to help me win every single deal. It knows all my products. It knows, what my industry is that I sell into in the sub-industry. It knows my personas. It knows who we compete against. And therefore, I'm not having to give it all the context all the time, because I've taken the time to put the context behind the scenes. So these are my level 3s are the assistant builders, the digital teammate builders, right? They're training assistants on playbooks, battle cards. They use these things they help them to do. I have, my favorite one that I use probably 3 times a day is called New Account Research. It says, I say, I'm ready to go. It says, give me a link to the company, and it goes. It's that, I can go deeper if I want to say, help me to understand a few nuances, but it's going to pull mission values. It's going to pull, how they make money, who the exec team is, rounds of funding, competitive landscape, who they sell to. I mean, it can pull everything for me, and I don't have to prompt it, etc. So, this is somebody who's, maybe runs into pricing objections. So they've created a pricing objectives GPT, right? That outputs kind of a company aligned, competitor aware, and immediately usable, proposal battle card to be able to help them to win more, deals. So again, I think that the mindset here, this is a really good, I don't know if I've put it this way before. The mindset is a shift from AI helps me to AI owns this task. Think about that mindset shift. AI is a helper. Yeah, it's helpful. Oh, no. My digital teammates got this. I don't do that anymore. My competitive deal intelligence teammate does it. And that to me is a big, big shift. And so that's why I wanted to spend time on these first 3. I'm going to talk you through really quick level 4 and level 5. But I want you to think, just hit a quick pause right now for yourself. Where am I if I'm being honest with myself? Am I level 1? I'm in the ad hoc world. Am I kind of making that move to level 2? And a lot of you could just go from 1 to 3, right? You could just say, hey, instead of me writing these prompts and copying and pasting them, let me just write these prompts inside of a digital teammate or an assistant, and it'll do it for me. Again, like I said, that's why, obviously I'm a big fan of, Meet Journey here because, it already has the assistants built out, but you can do this in any tool, okay? Level 4 and level 5, I'm going to talk about this very briefly. Level 4 is when you start to learn how to build agents. And this is another reason why I truly believe everyone should sign up for our AI certification program. It's literally a few $100s, and you are going to learn everything. You're going to learn how to build assistants. We're going to take you all the way up to like the beginning of level 4, that you're actually going to build an agent in like an hour, and you're going to start to see how easy this stuff is. So agent builder, I'm going to call it process engineer, is someone who doesn't just say AI does this task for me. It's I've got AI teammates working together, and they're doing much more complex things for me, right? So this could be, things like, you leveraging the Zoom API, in pulling that into N8N or Make or Zapier or Agentforce or, insert, layer. And then it automatically, creates a Slack that asks clarifying questions. And then once you integrate Slack and answer the questions, it automatically spits out a statement of work in a Google Doc. This is here today. My friends, we're doing this right now. This is how we do statements of work at my company. And so this is where, again, it pulls from a Calendly. It pulls the data from the CRM, who you're meeting with. It automatically runs the account research and auto slacks it to the AE. So by the time that thing hits your calendar, the prep is done. The automatic email is sent to the prospect that says, hey, I'm looking forward to a conversation. Here's the basics around us. Here's what you know, and it automates it out. At this level, AI starts to become invisible because it's running your systems while you sell. I truly believe if you are not thinking like this as a seller, by the end of next year, you're going to be surpassed, right? I think, again, if you can't get to that assistant builder, that teammate, digital teammate partner in the next 6 months, man, people are going to be running laps around you. Last but not least, I'm going to call this like force multiplier, right? AI multiplier, fluent across prompting, fluent across building teammates and libraries, coaches, peers, says, how do I raise the bar for my team? Right? It takes it from personal productivity to organizational or department uplift, right? So this is where, a leader or a group of people are working together on a true Gen AI roadmap for their department, right? And this is a lot of work we do with our clients is we're kind of going out, we're having different conversations, we're helping them to put together kind of their Kanban boards, and then we're kind of building out these different work streams on a consistent basis, whether it's a new digital teammate for this, whether it's a new, behind the scenes for this, a workflow. You are a leader when it comes to AI proficiency, right? Multipliers, the people in this group, the AI multipliers, they don't just win deals, they change the way their organization sells. And so for a lot of you, 1 through 3, okay? 1 through 3 is where I want you to focus, okay? Right? And again, like I mentioned before, if you want to make that move from kind of skilled prompter to teammate, go to check out meetjourney.ai, and that's a good starting place. If you're leading a team or you're a frontline piece, that's why I keep pushing these certifications, get involved there as well. So to wrap things up, I want you to think about this journey, and we're all on this journey together, right? Myself included. Somebody asked me, I was doing a workshop with one of our clients in the NBA, shout out to the Portland Trail Blazers. And one of the women in the session, she said, Jake, how long did it take you to get to the level of proficiency you're at? And I go, you know what? I don't even think I'm there. I'm like, I think I'm like a 4, like 3, 4, maybe somewhere in there. And my organization, I think we're a 4. I think we're a solid 4, moving to 5. But the ability to be proficient, it might not be a skill that your company is going to teach you because they don't know. They're still at step 1 in the maturity curve. They're still at wild, wild west, right? And again, I want you to think of the future here is, the reps that are going to win in the future, they're going to spend more time selling, less time doing the BS work. They prep faster. They coach better. They ramp faster, right? Hiring managers are going to be screening for this. Right. And I was talking to somebody who's like, how do I screen for AI? Like if in the future will be, if they can't show me their AI workflows, they don't make the cut. What, am I going to work with somebody who's like asking me these dumb manual questions? Like, absolutely not. Right. So again, I want you to think about this. In 2 years from now, if you are still at level 1, maybe there's certain industries, I think it's going to be tough to compete. Because somebody, you might think, I've got all this years of industry experience. But again, if I know how to build an assistant and a teammate that has all those years of experience already, well, that person can help me there. And then I'm going to be spending more time with customers than you can possibly do, right? And I think this isn't about more efficiency. It's about becoming more effective and surviving, right? So for everyone out there, this episode, for me is hopefully a little bit of a wake-up call and also maybe a little bit of a tactical, okay, cool. All right, I got me a little roadmap here. What we will do for you, to make this even better, I'm going to put a link in the show notes that's got like a little AI proficiency, little roadmap for you. So do not worry, I got you covered. Make sure if you have not already signed up for Journey, do it. It's assistance out of the box. It gets you literally to almost to level 3, like out of the gate. And for sure, make sure if you're somebody who wants to get serious about this, sign up for the certifications. They're kind of a no-brainer. I really feel like this is something that everybody should do who's trying to get really, really serious about their AI game. And so that's what I've got for today's episode. Again, if this helped you, I'm so glad to hear that. I love to hear it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on the podcast, make sure to sign up to get the download every time I've got a new episode dropping. And that's what I got for you, folks. That's my AI proficiency roadmap. That if you follow it, I promise you will be from, what do they say, 0 to hero in literally no time. So thanks again for tuning in, everyone. Thank you so much for, taking the time to invest in yourself, to realize how important this is. And we will see you next week on the next episode of the AI Powered Seller.